She stopped snacking between meals. She ate 3 meals a day instead of 6 or 7 mini meals. Nothing else changed. She didn't change what she ate. She didn't start exercising. She just changed when she ate. Within 3 weeks, her fasting blood sugar started coming down. Within 2 months, it had dropped by almost 30 points. Her doctor was amazed. Patricia said the same thing. I didn't know that was the problem. But here's the thing, and this is crucial. There's another part of this trap that's even more invisible than the eating frequency. It's about something called inflammation. Your body has an immune system that's constantly protecting you from threats. It creates inflammation to fight off infections and heal injuries. That's good. That's what you want. But when you're living with constant blood sugar spikes, your body is in a state of chronic, low-level inflammation. It's like having a tiny fire burning inside you all the time. You can't see it. You can't feel it. But it's there, and it's making your insulin resistance worse. Here's how it works. When your blood sugar spikes, your immune system sees that as a kind of stress on your body. It releases inflammatory chemicals to try to protect you. That's a normal response. But if your blood sugar is spiking multiple times a day, every single day, your immune system is constantly releasing these inflammatory chemicals. Over time, this chronic inflammation actually damages the cells that are supposed to respond to insulin. It makes them even more resistant. So you end up in this vicious cycle. High blood sugar spikes create inflammation. Inflammation makes your insulin resistance worse. Worse insulin resistance means your blood sugar stays elevated. And the cycle continues. And there's something else that makes this even more complicated as you get older. Your body's ability to handle blood sugar naturally decreases with age. This is just biology. Your pancreas doesn't work quite as efficiently. Your cells don't respond quite as well to insulin. Your muscles, which are one of the biggest consumers of blood sugar in your body, become less responsive to insulin as you age, especially if you're not staying active. So if you were able to eat however you wanted when you were 30 and your body could handle it, that same diet at 65 is going to affect you very differently. I'm telling you all this because most people think their blood sugar problem is something that happened to them. Like they woke up one day and suddenly they were diabetic. But the truth is, it usually develops gradually over years, often in ways you can't see or feel. And the most important part? Once you understand how it happens, you can actually start reversing it. The trap isn't inescapable, but you have to know what the trap is first. So now that you understand what's actually happening, let's talk about what you can do about it. And I want to be clear about something right from the start. I'm not going to tell you that you need to completely overhaul your life. You don't need to become a gym rat or eat nothing but salads. The changes that actually work are usually simpler than people think. They're just different from what most people try. The first thing you need to understand is that reversing insulin resistance is possible. Your cells can become more responsive to insulin again. It doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen. And it starts with one fundamental change. You need to give your blood sugar a chance to come back down between meals. That's it. That's the foundation. Remember Patricia, the receptionist I mentioned? The biggest shift for her wasn't what she ate. It was when she ate. By spacing her meals further apart, she gave her blood sugar time to normalize between eating. Her pancreas got a break. Her cells got a break from being constantly bombarded with insulin signals. And over time, they started responding better again. Now, I know what you might be thinking. If I space my meals further apart, won't I get hungry? Maybe. You might feel a little hungry. But here's something interesting. A lot of that hunger you feel throughout the day isn't actually hunger. It's habit. It's boredom. It's your blood sugar crashing after a spike. When you stop creating those spikes, you stop creating those crashes. And when you stop creating those crashes, you stop feeling that urgent need to eat something. Let me give you a practical example of what this could look like. Let's say you're currently eating breakfast at 7 a.m., a snack at 10 a.m., lunch at 1 p.m., a snack at 4 p.m., and dinner at 7 p.m. That's 5 eating occasions in a 12-hour period. What if you changed it to breakfast at 7 a.m., lunch at 12 p.m., and dinner at 6 p.m.? That's 3 meals spread across 11 hours. You've created a 4 to 5 hour window between meals instead of eating constantly. That's a huge difference for your blood sugar. But here's where a lot of people make a mistake. They think that if they're going to space their meals further apart, they need to eat smaller meals. Actually, the opposite is often true. If you're eating 3 solid meals instead of 5 or 6 smaller ones, you can actually eat more at each meal and still consume fewer total calories. You can eat a satisfying breakfast, a real lunch, a real dinner, and you're done. Your blood sugar gets stable. Your insulin gets stable. Your cells get a chance to recover. Now, what about what you eat? Does it matter? Yes, absolutely. But it matters less than you probably think, and in a different way than you've been told. You don't need to eliminate carbs. You don't need to go on some extreme diet. What you need to do is make your meals more balanced. Think about a typical breakfast: toast with jam, or a bowl of cereal with milk, or a bagel with cream cheese. What do all of these have in common? They're mostly carbohydrates. There's very little protein or fat. So when you eat them, your blood sugar spikes really quickly. Your pancreas has to release a lot of insulin really fast. And then your blood sugar crashes, and you're hungry again 2 hours later. Now imagine a different breakfast: eggs with vegetables, or oatmeal with nuts and berries, or Greek yogurt with granola and fruit. These meals have carbohydrates, yes, but they also have protein and fat. The protein and fat slow down the digestion of the carbohydrates. Your blood sugar rises more gradually. Your pancreas releases insulin more gradually. Your blood sugar stays stable longer, and you stay satisfied longer. I'm not saying you can never have toast again. I'm saying that if you have toast, you should have it with butter and an egg, not by itself. If you have cereal, you should have it with nuts and fruit, not just milk. If you have a bagel, you should have it with salmon and cream cheese, not just cream cheese. You're not eliminating foods. You're just balancing them differently. A man named David in Florida told me about his experience with this. He's 71, retired, been diabetic for about 6 years. He said his breakfast used to be a bowl of oatmeal with a banana and some honey. He loved it. It felt healthy, but his blood sugar would spike to over 200 within an hour of eating it. His doctor kept telling him to cut back on carbs, but David loved his oatmeal. He didn't want to give it up. Then he tried something different. He still had the oatmeal, still had the banana, still had a little honey, but he also added 2 tablespoons of almond butter and some walnuts. Suddenly, his blood sugar spike was much smaller. It went to maybe 160 instead of 200. Not perfect, but much better. And he felt satisfied longer. He wasn't hungry at 9 a.m. anymore. He could actually make it to lunch without needing a snack. Here's another thing that matters a lot, and it's something people often overlook: the order in which you eat things. If you eat your carbohydrates last, after you've eaten your protein and vegetables, your blood sugar response is actually smaller than if you eat them first. This is something that's been proven in research, but almost nobody knows about it. So if you're having a meal with chicken, broccoli, and rice, the order matters. If you eat the rice first, then the broccoli, then the chicken, your blood sugar will spike higher than if you eat the chicken first, then the broccoli, then the rice. It's the same food, same portions, same calories, but the order changes how your body processes it. It's a simple thing, but it works. Now, let me talk about something else that's crucial, and it's something that ties directly back to that inflammation I mentioned earlier: movement, physical activity. I'm not talking about running marathons or spending an hour at the gym. I'm talking about moving your body regularly throughout the day. When your muscles contract, they pull glucose directly out of your bloodstream without needing insulin. This is huge. This means that if you move your body after eating, you can actually reduce your blood sugar spike without changing what you eat or how